interesting times. The pandemic, job loss, social injustice. There really is a lot of people aren't coping well these days. Well, what can we do? Where can we find a little glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel?
Yes, Vernice FlyGirl Armour is America's first African-American female combat pilot, a former police officer, and author of the book Zero to Breakthrough, and is someone who inspires hope and inspiration in all of us. Take a look. Vernice is joining us today to talk about her book and give us 5 tips to inspire anyone feeling down and out. Hi, Vernice. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, great to be here. I'm excited.
Yes. Well, what's the basic premise of building a flight plan?
So the basic premise of building a flight plan is very simple, right? Going from A to B, where you are to where you want to be. Now, the flight plan during combat is a little bit more difficult, right? So when you look at even where we are right now, in the middle of everything that's going on, it's a little tougher to get from where you're going, even if you're talking about going to get groceries for your family. So it's different times.
It is different times. Well, tell us a little bit how we can do, what you could call that pre-flight check and really lead into takeoff when you're looking, at what your mission might be. I love kind of in your book, you have these different metaphors for kind of tackling what your tasks are.
Right. So there are 5 steps, right? Here are 5 nuggets. Where are you? Where do you want to be? That's the create your flight plan. And the direct order I'm giving you as an officer in the Marine Corps, well, formerly anyway, do not think about the how. Because if you start thinking about the how, then you boil back the vision. It's like, right? And then it's all the way down here. So don't think about what do you really want. Then step number 2 is mitigate the risks, the pros and cons, checking everything out, the resources, the funding, the revenue, the education, the certifications, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, right? Step 3, you take off. Step 4, execute, where you're navigating the minefields and obstacles, even though you've probably had them the whole way. And then step 5, review, recharge, and reattack. Review your successes and failures, recharge emotionally, physically, intellectually, and then the last part is my favorite. Do you know why?
No, tell us, why is your favorite?
It has the word attack in it. No, and there are only 2 ways to succeed. The first time or again. But in this day and age of COVID, economic recession, social justice movement, I've actually added a couple more right? Reimagine and reinvent. Reimagine, where do we want to be as a community, as an individual, and how do we reinvent ourselves and implement and move forward together as a team, one community.
Well, Vernice, you use the word obstacles. Now, what advice do you give those that are really facing obstacles and challenges?
Focus on the solution. Focus on the opportunity, right? And find the solution. Period. And I used to say, acknowledge the obstacles, don't give them power. But after we acknowledge the obstacles and don't give them power, then what, right? So focus on the opportunity, which is just the obstacle in disguise, and find the solution. Period. End of story.
Well, I want to hear about your new book, Zero to Breakthrough. Share a little bit about that and what that process and inspiration was like when you were coming up with this book.
Gotcha. And I'll be honest, that it came out a little while ago. And just in case people are, looking, right, they're like, gut, what is that? It's got gutsy, right? So that's actually my next book, Get Gutsy, Lead Gutsy. And they really go together. When I was in combat in Iraq, the ground controller would actually have to give us permission to release our weapons. And he would say, you have permission to engage. Well, here at home, there are no ground controllers in life. You are your ground controller. If you don't give yourself permission, who will? The second part of that is the guts, right? The gutsy move. It's not a gutsy thought. If you don't take action, nothing happened. So in your gut, you know what's right. It takes guts to do it, but you got to take action. And, when I'm giving talks, whether it's to a community or a scholarship luncheon or in corporate America, it's all about how are we engaging as a workforce, as a community, and with our younger generation who's hoping to make their own breakthroughs, right?
Well, we want to make sure to share your website. So for more information, head over to vernicearmour.com. Vernice, thank you so much for joining us here this morning on Hometown Living, sharing about your book and your perspective.
Absolutely. Stay gutsy.
I love that. Stay gutsy. Well, Vernice also has a new book coming out called The Gut. So are you gutsy?
No words. No words.
I meant adventurous.
Yes, I am, by golly.
You are adventurous?
Sure, I'm up for most anything.
What is the most adventurous thing you've ever
Girl,
done?
you can't say that this early on TV.
What is it?
I don't
What
know.
is it?
Only time will tell. I will unveil later.
Well, coming up next, what the largest